The Leica M6 is the camera. If you do a search online for the best film cameras of all time, the M6 will almost certainly be included in every list. This camera has a cult following, and when I first learned about the M6, how much it costed, and the entire Leica universe, I couldn't help but ask why. Why is Leica so expensive? Why do so many people love their cameras, and what is it like to shoot a Leica? Leica is actually a portmanteau of lights and camera. Lights being the family name of Ernest Leitz I and II, who were the family members that brought the company to the top. By the early 1900s, Leica was booming as an optical manufacturer, and one employee, Oscar Barnett, allowed Leica to bring photography to the consumer with the world's first 35mm camera. That 2:3 image ratio is the same format we use in professional digital cameras today. Leica is historic. Throughout the century, Leica became more and more involved with the consumer. They started producing a lot of consumer content, including these magazines that I'm flipping through now. Both in the past and the modern day, Leica is the face of luxury. The Leica M6 feels great in the hands, and that's because Leica uses the best materials that you can find, backed by extensive experience in optical engineering that goes all the way back to when the company was founded in the late 1800s. Even today, in the digital age, a significant portion of Leica cameras and lenses are assembled by hand and checked by several engineers. All this careful handling ensures absolute precision. Leica cameras are the definition of a well-oiled machine, especially the Leica M6. You don't worry about this camera having problems. It's the pinnacle of all mechanical cameras. It only requires a battery for the light meter. People love that. With all this craftsmanship, you can think of a Leica as a high-end watch. Precise, reliable, and a work of art. Unnecessary? Sure, but the subtleties change the whole experience, and to a select group of people, that means the world. Like all Leica cameras, the M6 is a rangefinder. This means you compose through Framelines and a viewfinder with a fixed magnification, rather than with an SLR where what you see is what you get. To focus your image, you line up the Rangefinder patch in your viewfinder. This is also called a double image. When you line up the two images in the rangefinder, you know you're in focus. If you're new to rangefinders, this can be pretty awkward. Now, probably the main reason people love Leica cameras is the lens mount. Leica M mount lenses are the best. Even the third-party lenses like Voigtlander and Zeiss are absolutely stunning. These lenses are all small, light, and optically phenomenal. One of the nice things is that Leica lens is coupled to the viewfinder. When you put a new one on, the right frame lines snap into place. At the same time, maybe you're shooting with a 50mm lens and you want to switch to your 35mm lens, but you want a preview to see if it's worth it to switch and if the shot will look good. You can use this toggle right here in order to change the frame lines no matter what lens you have on. This allows you to compose the image before you change the lens. Another part about Leica having a fixed viewfinder magnification is that all the frame lines are set. This means if you like to use telephoto lenses, it's not so easy to compose your photo because the frame lines for telephoto lenses are so small. With that being said, I like long lenses. I use a 50mm Summarit on my Leica M6 and prefer the 50mm frame lines to all the others. With the 50mm frame lines, I can see just outside of my composition, and if I need to tweak it, it's really easy for me to do so. If I'm being honest, I also haven't had a problem shooting with the 90mm frame lines, but I also don't wear glasses or contacts, and it's quite easy for me to see when I'm in focus. After using rangefinders and SLRs both equally for a long time, I find that I actually prefer rangefinders. It's much quicker for me to focus, and sometimes with SLRs, I find myself second guessing whether I'm in focus or not. This is of course a personal opinion, but with the Leica system and the Leica focusing tab and just the way it's so compact and just fits so ergonomically to my hands, I find it so easy to focus, frame my composition, and take a photo without having to think too much. The M6 is just a plain simple camera. You have your aperture on the lens, your shutter dial on the top of the camera, you have your rewind on the front of the body, and the rewind crank on the top left side of the camera. You can switch between frame lines on the front of the camera with a toggle as well. The viewfinder is very bright and clear, and it's simple, it's easy to use. The film advance lever is super smooth, and you even have this soft advance tab on it. The shutter is incredibly silent, and the film loading system is perfect. And that's because this back is allowed to pop up there, and it allows you to use your thumbs to shimmy in and make sure the sprockets are lined up. It's probably the easiest film loading system I've ever used in a 35mm camera. If I had to choose one reason for why I shoot a Leica M6, it's because of the experience that comes with that camera. It's an experience unlike anything else. The camera is so deadly simple that it just gets out of my way. Taking photos is different and unlike using any other camera. It's sleek, I focus super quickly, everything is well oiled and it's perfect and it feels great in my hands. The results are stunning because the lenses are phenomenal. Loading film is easy, focusing is easy, the viewfinder is nice and bright, the shutter is noiseless, and things just work. This is a camera for me, and it's not a camera for everyone, but a lot of people like it for a good reason. Now, there are a lot of Leica alternative camera bodies out there, and they're all different and have their own nice, unique traits about them. If you're considering getting an M camera, it's definitely worth to check out some of the Leica alternatives as well, as you'll probably save a ton of money. With that all being said though, I love my Leica M6, and I don't think I'll ever let it go. This footage that you're watching now is of me shooting the Leica M6 in Framelines 100 black and white film at my school's arts building just a few blocks away from my house. I wanted to include this to give you guys somewhat of an idea of what it's like to shoot a Leica M6 and some of the images that you can expect in return. So I hope you guys enjoyed some of that footage of me shooting Framelines 100, and so now here are some of the other color images that I've shot. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this gave you a sense of what the M6 is like. If you guys have any other questions about the camera itself or just any comments in general about this video or any of the other videos that I've been making, please go ahead and leave them down below or message me here on YouTube or on Instagram. I'd be more than happy to hear what you guys think. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.